Hello everybody. In this chapter, we are going to talk about the various global regulations and standards concerning the onboard diagnostics. Okay, here we go. In the context of onboard diagnostics and vehicle diagnostics, global regulations and standards ensure that vehicles meet safety, emission, and operational requirements across different regions. These standards govern how vehicles communicate diagnostic data, how faults are reported, and how compliance with environmental and safety norms is validated. All right, understand this very carefully. How vehicles communicate that or diagnostics data. This word communicate is extremely important. Okay, so methodology of the communication is extremely important. Now, when it comes to purpose of global regulations in vehicle diagnostics, global diagnostic regulations aim to monitor vehicle health and emissions, ensure public safety and environmental protection, enable interoperability across the diagnostic tools and vehicle brands, standardized fault reporting. Understand this standardized fault reporting. So, in a very standardized manner, the faults are reported. For example, diagnostic trouble code, which is an example of a standardized fault reporting, and enforce emission compliance through real-time diagnostics. All right. So, the key global standards, regulatory frameworks. So what are these key global standards and regulatory frameworks? When it comes to United States, OBD2, SAE and EPA standards. First is the regulator. The regulator is the Environmental Protection Agency and California Air Resources Board. Now when it comes to standard, the OBD2 since 1996 for gasoline, 2007 plus diesel. All right. Now what are the various protocols? SAE 1850, PWM and VPW, and ISO 9142, ISO 14230 for keyword protocol 2000, and ISO 15765 for CAN protocol. All right. And what are the various standards used? Standards are SAE J1979 and SAE J2012. Now, what is the requirement? Why exactly this is mandated? The mandatory malfunction indicator lamp, freeze frame data, and standardized connection. So, these are the requirements that are being fulfilled with the help of this particular standard. All right. So, to proceed further, next when it comes to Union, European onboard diagnostics. European onboard diagnostic, the first regulator is European Commission. And when it comes to standard, European OBD since 2001 for petrol and 2004 for diesel. All right. Now, when it comes to protocols, based on ISO 15765 CAN and legacy K line, ISO 9141, ISO 14230. All right. Now, coming to the harmonized with OBD2, but includes additional Euro emission standards, Euro 6 and Euro 7. All right. So this OBD is harmonized with this latest emission standards. And the emphasis lies on carbon dioxide emissions, NOx reduction, diesel particulate filter monitoring, OBD communication security, which comes under the standard SAE J3138. Now, when it comes to Japan, JOBD, this is the standard, and the regulator is Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Tourism, Transport and Tourism, which is acronymed as MLIT. Now, what is the name of the standard? Name of the standard is JOBD. And when it comes similar to OBD2 with regional variations, protocol differences, DTC mappings, and protocols ISO 15765, ISO 9141. And when it comes to what is it used for? It is used for compliance with Japanese emission standards. Example, post 2008 emissions. All right. So after 2008 emissions, compliance with the Japanese standards has become mandatory. Now, when it comes to China, COBD or CEOBD. Now, what is regulator is Ministry of Ecology and Environment. Standard is COBD aligned with China 6 emission regulations, and requirements is real driving emissions RDE, which is acronymed as RDE, and remote emission monitoring, the focus vehicle remote monitoring platforms for emission control. Okay, so these are the various regulations for various countries. To further proceed, last but not the least, for our own country, India, the standards are OBD1 and OBD2 for BS norms or Bharat stage norms. Now, the regulator is Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, MORTH, Central Pollution Control Board. And when it comes to standard, AIS 137 and AIS 140 and AIS 157. All right. Now coming to the emission norms, Bharat stage 4 and Bharat stage 6 are the emission norms that are covered under this OBD standards, and the protocol is ISO 15765 for CAN protocol, and it is also mandated OBD for Bharat stage 4 and Bharat stage 6. All right. So here in this below table, you can see the various key standards and protocols. ISO 15765-4 is meant for CAN protocol for diagnostics. ISO 912, ISO 14230 K-line protocols used for legacy vehicles. And when it comes to SAE J1962, standardized 16-pin diagnostic connector. And when it comes to SAE J1979, it defines OBD diagnostics, and J2012 SAE 1501 316 standardizes DC format, and ISO 2745 defines WWH OBD worldwide harmonized onboard diagnostics. And when it comes to ISO, the 14229 unified diagnostic services, modern diagnostics beyond OBD, and ISO 1413400 DOIP, and diagnostics over internet protocol. Okay. Now, when it comes to harmonization efforts to reduce the development complexity for OEMs and suppliers. All right, this worldwide harmonized OBD ISO 27145 developed under UNECE for global harmonization, and UN regulation number 83154 encompasses emission OBD requirements under multiple countries under 1958 agreement, and ASEAN OBD and GCC OBD regional adaptations of global OBD standards. So these are the various ways in which the world, at a world level or a global level, these OBD standards are being harmonized. Now, when it comes to impact on vehicle design and diagnostics, standardized ECUs and diagnostic trouble codes, tool interoperability across the vehicle brands, and in-vehicle emission monitoring through sensors, NOx, oxygen, DPF, etc., and over-the-air updates and remote diagnostics increasingly regulated. All right. So this is the table of the summary of all the various regional diagnostic standards, and with what they are aligned, and also the key protocols used in the same standard. So I request all of you to pause the video and take a note of the standards so that you can by heart them. Thank you.